and you patiently processed your emotions, you processed the situation, and you got things in order, don't be surprised if you realize what you have already is far superior to anything else.
Welcome to Cards and Constellations with Bonnie Morris and Don Rumor Rivera from Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Here, we blend astrology and tarot to guide you through the twists and turns for the week ahead. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share. Let's dive into your cosmic journey together.
Libra, this is your astrology reading for the week of August 18th through the 24th. Let's get to it. Miss Bonnie is unable to deliver it this week, so she wrote it for me to deliver for her. Please be patient. I would appreciate it. As in last week, we start off with the kite leading us to Saturn in an opposition with Mars. Now, if you recall last week, there were two kites in opposition. The good part is the other kite has already dissolved, and that's good news. And by midweek, we're going to see this kite also dissolve, and the energies will become lesser and easier. So nice, right? Don't get me wrong, there will be some squares to be dealt with in opposition at the end of the week. And we see most of the other kites also dissolve, except for that trine, which exists between Saturn, Pluto, and Uranus. And there is a new opposition between Venus and Pluto. So love and romance and money versus change and the need for something to be altered. So there will be some tensions there. We also see a square between Jupiter and Mars. So you've got the planet of action, and then you have the planet of expansion. And it looks like some decisions will need to be made there. It also is the beginning of a square between Uranus and the moon, and that's about your feelings and some unexpected changes. So you'll have to ask yourself some reflective questions. This week has quite preparation and behind the scenes momentum. So it's quiet preparation and behind the scenes momentum. The sun moves into Virgo on the 22nd, which lights up your introspection and your healing after the sun goes into Virgo. Focus on refining details and cleaning old tasks, as well as trying to set a sustainable routine. If you're single, this is a very self-reflective dating period for you. And remember that change and that romance and so forth comes into play here, doesn't it? This is a very self-reflective period again, and you may find quality connections over quantity. So again, don't care about how many people you're dating or how many people you've dated. Go for what is drawing you most. What is the right person to fit the situation? And don't be surprised if you find them, because the energy is here for this. Let's see. The couples that will benefit from such quiet bonding time and shared relaxation are those who are already coupled. So if you are already in a relationship, you're going to appreciate the quiet bonding time and getting to know each other on a much different level or deeper level. Or if you've been having problems, that's a good thing, because you're going to be maybe working through those problems. That's on the 19th and 20th, which opens the doors to deeper conversation. This week favors cleaning up your budget, repaying debts rather than any sort of risky financial moves. So again, it's that cleaning house. If you think about it, it's all about the same thing, but it's a financial house in this case. It's also an ideal time for reviewing expenses and finding small ways to save. Avoid the impulse spending on the 23rd. Your emotions could, and that's a Saturday, by the way, your emotions could cloud your judgment. While you may feel less socially introverted, your inner energy is strengthening midweek. So some grounding activities, yoga, meditation, time in nature, by the way, walking in grass, putting your feet into a pond or into a body of water, putting them in the sand, all those things will help you ground, and it'll help you focus and prepare you for what's coming down the road. So again, this week, pay attention to relationships and make sure you ground yourself by week's end. This is a good week for emotions. Put them as a priority and get your finances in order at the same time. Let's take a look at the tarot and see how it works together or works against this. Libra, this is your tarot reading for the week. Let's see how it compares to your astrology reading. On the bottom of the deck is the card. It's your overall energy of your environment this week. And it's a 7 of Cups. So don't be surprised if you're all over the place this weekend. This week, not this weekend, this week. Don't be surprised if you're all over the place. You're focused. Make sure you stay focused because this energy is a very unfocused energy. So this may be a situation where, again, in your environment, there may be a lot of things that are popping around. Maybe a lot of people making changes, making moves, doing some things. Maybe people putting a lot of things that have not been planned on trying to bring them to your doorstep. Be careful about that. Again, make sure you pay attention to your time scale. Make sure you pay attention to your needs. And when this happens, focus on your boundaries. Kick in your boundaries. Do the boundary we talked about. Time management. About personal space. About you controlling your economics. Those kind of things. Now, your calendar, your first card out for you, your energy suite is a 3 of Swords. That is not a good energy. I hate to tell you that's not a good energy. That is a situation for drama. That's a situation for drama. When that 3 of Swords pops out, it tells you there is a bit of a challenge, to say the least. If it's in a relationship situation, that means that either one of you has stepped out. One of you has stepped out of the relationship, or one of you is thinking about that, or something like that. And so if this has not happened yet, and it's you and you're thinking about it, give it some long thought. And it's interesting because the astrology did discuss this about the relationships and about quality over quantity. It also talked about building that relationships back. And so in this situation, if you're in a relationship, I can see why that 19th through the 22nd is so important with that card there. The next card out is the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is telling me that this really does seem to come like an energy of you've been thinking about, is there something better over there? Would my life be different if I was there? Could I have this? Could I have this? And that 9 of Coins or the 10 of Coins that you're looking over there, it makes you wonder, okay, is there something better for me? The question is, economically, does this make sense? Okay. If I were to look at this card specifically, I would say, unfortunately, this may make sense economically, but economics is not always the factor here. I mean, think about it. Is it cheaper for one person, two single people to live separate, or one to live together? There's all kinds of questions about that. But in this case, your question should be about your emotional situation, and your economics will always tend to fill in the gap once you make the emotional decision. Okay, your third card out is the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords. It's interesting because that 4 of Swords is just that is the need of rest, the need of thing. And so this could be a period where the energies around you have you overwhelmed. You feel you're not supported. And that could be, again, that 3 saying, look, I'm not supported in my relationship. And then maybe thinking, do I need to do something different? The question is think about it. Is it that you're tired, which, again, this card is saying? And is it tired, or is it an economic situation because your economics are maybe frustrating for you right now? And so that's causing you, or is it truly an emotional situation? You have to evaluate that before you go. We have the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands here is like, you know what? It may take some work. And again, that's what that Wands card is. It's work. But put the work in and be patient. And don't be surprised if after you put that work in and you patiently processed your emotions, you processed the situation, and you got things in order, don't be surprised if you realize what you have already is far superior to anything else. And more importantly, it does make economic sense as well. So when it makes economic sense and emotional sense, then your situations say, hey, you stay, and you do. However, this is a change card, and that's a death card, and you make the change. So ultimately, you may have to make the decision to change the relationship, but this could be you changing because, again, you're realizing that the problems are yours because, again, you're putting yourself under stress. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're not sleeping enough, you're not processing enough, and therefore you're running on fumes. And therefore you're not making logical and reasonable decisions. Get your house in order. Get yourself in order. This is that King of Coins, King of Pentacles. Get yourself in order. Understand your situation, understand you're tired, understand your emotional stress, understand your anxiety. And once you do, then you're going to make the right decision anyway, no matter what. But again, the decision is more about you changing, which is why these two cards are together. The change is you, and your change is a logical change, and it's based on what makes for the whole picture better. Okay, because that king is that specific king is a king of abundance. So it's happiness, joy, money, all those things. It's a complete picture instead of just happiness, which is cups, or wands, which is work, that kind of stuff. This is the whole picture. So I think you're going to get maybe some frustrated feet this week. You're going to get some irritation because you're tired and because there's a lot of stuff happening around you and it's just wearing on you. And you're also maybe some economic pressure from decisions or even from impacts that are affecting your budget. Maybe some fighting at home because of the financial stress, which happens. There could be an argument about some other stuff, and again, that 10 comes out. So it's about it. It seems to be rooted in economics, but use your logical and reasonable mind. Put it through the process and say, you know what, really, is this a blip? Can I work through this? And when I do, will I be glad that I have the relationship I'm in still? And if that's the answer you get, then I think you know what you need to do. You need to stick where you are and work through it. And that's, again, what the Queen of Wands is saying. Stay where you are, work through it, bring about the change for you, and the change that you institute will bring about a change in the relationship too. And as you do, you're going to be happy with the results. Okay? Ooh, interesting. Heavy read. But it's interesting because, again, when we put it back to the astrology talked about the change, about being rash. It talked about relationships, and it talked about the work in a relationship. It also talked about the emotions about change, that strong thing about change or about love. And again, it's like, do I change my situation? Do I do whatever? Again, figure out what's happening. Make sure you're not using your decision-making abilities at a time when you're tired and wrought. That's not a wise to do it. And when you do, you're going to realize that you're probably going to realize you're fine. Yeah, and you should stay put. But that's not my decision to make. It's going to be yours. With that said, what I'd ask you to do is show me some love and show me the love by hitting up that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Additionally, hit that share button and share it out to everybody else. While you're at it, if you are on Sonoran Mystic Tarot, which is my channel, pop over to Your Love Goddess, which is Miss Bonnie's. Do the same thing there. And then if you go to Cards and Constellations, that's our combined channel, and hit subscribe there as well. Remember, by subscribing and then sharing, you help us grow our channel, and other folks need to hear the messages we're giving as well. So you may help some people inadvertently, or maybe even, obviously, whatever it takes. But yes, please hit that share and subscribe. We would both truly appreciate it. Until next week, love, light, and blessings from Miss Bonnie, her family, me, and my family to you and yours. We'll see you then. Please let us know. Give us some feedback. Send us a message. Let us know how this resonates with you. And know that we're here with you and for you.